Okay, tell me any one reason for the formation of Khilafat movement. One reason only. Why was Khilafat movement founded? One reason. Okay, anyone else? Anyone else? One reason for the formation of Khilafat movement. Hello, I'm talking to you guys.
Sir, the British were ending the Khilafat like Caliphate in Turkey, so
Okay. So to protect Ottoman Empire, we discussed categorically to protect Ottoman Empire and Caliph and Caliphate. That's the one reason. Ahmed Alam, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Why aren't you listening to me?
Sir, I'm sorry.
Just pay attention to the class, right? Okay, boys. So one reason. Any other reason? Now, if this is the way, like if this is what you do, like this is what we discussed, spend the whole lesson on this thing only.
sir,
And yes,
sir, we have not started the new chapter. Last class we discussed
Yes, sir,
last.
we didn't.
okay. Uh, the Khilafat movement. Any one of you knows anything generally?
Yes, sir.
Okay, now listen to me. Listen to me. Uh, in 19, mute your mic. Who is with this noisy background? Okay, listen to me, everyone. Are you listening to me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, everyone. Situation following Amritsar massacre, 1919 and 1920 in India, was that both the Indians on the one hand and the British on the other hand, they were not in any good terms. Hindus were protesting, Muslims were protesting, and the main issue was that they were not happy with MCR, number one, and that they were not happy with the roll attack later on introduced, and they are not happy with the Amritsar massacre that happened. So British used full power to silence Indians following the war, World War One, and the Indians they were on protest. So let me share my screen with you, and you will see this. We need to have a little bit background to this. Okay. We discuss up to page 65. Non-cooperation movement. What was non-cooperation movement? Can you tell me non-cooperation about non-cooperation movement? Anyone? What's non-cooperation movement?
Sir,
Sir,
they
Mahatma
stopped
Gandhi.
obeying the British government.
Not to cooperate with the British government.
Yes, sir, and give up on their jobs.
Okay, so mainly central idea is not to cooperate with the government, and the activities under that were like to boycott offices, school, colleges, to go on and protest, strikes, and also the boycott of British goods. So these were the different measures under the this non-cooperation movement. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Uh, we saw this movement after the partition of Bengal. Hindus went on to protest and boycott and all that stuff, right? Now, following this World War One and especially Manfur reforms and roll attack, Amritsar massacre, Gandhi now again started non-cooperation movement. So this was in 1920. Now, one thing you should know that non-cooperation movement was the strategy, it was the methodology, what Gandhi followed mainly in order to pressurize British or in order to press them to accept Indians' demand. Is this point clear?
Yes, sir.
To other guys as well?
Yes, sir.
Are you guys too lazy to unmute and say anything? Is it like this?
No, sir.
Maybe you think a lot before even moving your hand that how I'll go and unmute and then speak. It's a lot of task, it's so much. First to move your hand and then unmute and then speak and then mute it again. It's a big thing, right? Yeah. Okay. So what was my question, Abdul Rafi? Abdul Rafi, what was my question?
Sir, the first question,
Yeah,
the
right
reason
now.
for the formation of
No, no,
Khilafat.
no, 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 right now. We're talking about non-cooperation movement. So non-cooperation movement was basically a methodology or a strategy followed by Gandhi for what purpose? Tell me. Any one of you? Anyone else? The 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 weapon or the methodology of non-cooperation movement, the non-cooperation movement was mostly used by Gandhi. Okay, what was his purpose? No? Yes, simply his purpose was to pressurize British. His purpose was to win for Indian more share in power. His purpose was to force British to leave India at max. But to make them listen to the Indians and fulfill their demand. That was the purpose. That we are discussing about freedom struggle. We are discussing about our Pakistan movement. So our main purpose was to pressurize British in order to initially at this point in time where we were looking for winning more rights, we were looking for share in power, we were looking for protection and all that stuff. In the longer run, we went for independence, and the Muslim, went for a separate homeland. Is it clear to everyone?
Yes, sir.
So non-cooperation movement was basically started by Gandhi most of the time, and you will not see this was not one-time affair. It was not an event, one event. It was a strategy followed by Gandhi from time to time in order to pressurize British. Okay, so this 1920 Khilafat, this non-cooperation movement was started in order to protest against MCR, Amritsar, Rollet Act, etc., and in order to pressurize British to listen to the Indian and fulfill their demands. So this was going on, number one thing in India 1920. Now the other thing which added to which became part of this whole agitation, whole movement was the Khilafat movement. Now what was Khilafat movement? Basically the Muslims of India, they and Indians at large helped the British during the war, right? World War One. Is this clear to you? You guys know this?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So, did Indians help British during World War One?
Yes, some of them did.
Yes, sir.
Yes. We extended the Indian extended a large help for the British. They helped them immensely. They fought by their side, and 100,000 died even in this course. So during this all support, Muslims of India had one concern, and they discussed this with the British government. And the concern was that Ottomans, the Turkish Empire, Ottoman Empire, was fighting against the British in the World War One, and they were with Germany. And Muslim of India wanted a guarantee that though they support British, though they are not in favor of Germany, and they are ready to fight for them in the war, but on one condition, that British would respect Ottomans. British would not do any damage to the Ottomans. British will not disintegrate Ottomans or cause any damage to it. And British actually gave this kind of assurance that they would respect the sentiments of the Muslim of India. Now, at the end of the war, what Muslims of India realized that they helped British, but the British were now not ready to actually fulfill their promise. And what Muslim of India feared at the end of the war, that British would do the same as they did to Germany. Germany was split, its territories were taken, it was humiliated, punished, it was not allowed to keep armies and all that. So same fate was waiting for Turkey, the Ottomans. You know the Ottomans maybe because most of you might have watched the Turkish drama series, this Osman, right? Most of you might be watching it. So that was the time when this Ottoman Empire was started back in 13th century, and this was 20th century, early 2 decades, 1920. It was still surviving. Now, Muslim of India started a movement in India in order to pressurize British to fulfill their promise, in order to pressurize British to not end the Caliphate, Khilafat, or the Turkish Empire, or to disintegrate it. Is this clear? So, number one reason for the formation of Khilafat movement was by the Indian Muslims to pressurize British not to disintegrate Turkey, to respect Turkish Empire, and the protection of Caliph or Caliphate. Is this clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Now the question is that why did Muslim of India want to protect Ottomans? Because we were not directly linked to them. We were not part of Ottomans. We had never been part of Ottomans actually. And why did the Muslims of India want to protect Ottomans? And they started this big movement.
Sir, because they were caliphs, and so if they would cause damage to that, there would be no caliphs, and it would be.
Okay, one thing is that Muslims association to Caliph, Khalifa, or to Khilafat, Caliphate. Now, what's Caliph and what's Caliphate? Caliph, the ruler of Muslim Ummah after Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The title Khalifatul Rasul was taken by the first Caliph, Hazrat Abu Bakr Siddiq radiallahu ta'ala anhu, and then Hazrat Umar radiallahu ta'ala anhu, and then Hazrat Usman radiallahu ta'ala anhu, and then Hazrat Ali radiallahu ta'ala anhu. So these were first four caliphs. And then this is how caliphate established, Khilafat established. So Khilafat and Caliph used to be the ruler of entire Muslim Ummah, wherever they were. So it has an historical influence, acceptance, and being caliph mean that you are the ruler of entire Muslim Ummah. Though we were not directly ruled by Turkey or Ottomans anytime, but still the love and regard for caliph and caliphate was there. And then the Turkish ruler took the same title of caliph. So this was the last caliph now, which proved to be the last one because the caliphate ended then. It was Mehmed VI, the last caliph of Ottomans in 1924 when this Ottoman Empire formally ended. So we had a respect and love for. So the second reason was that the love and regard and respect for the Caliph and Caliphate was another reason for the start of the Ottoman Empire. And one associated thing to this was that Muslim of India also believed that if Ottomans ends and as Muslim other powers, their own empire ended. When did Muslim empire end? And Muhammad Arslan, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
So ask the question that when did the Muslim ended?
What, sir? Can you ask it again?
Sir, your voice is lacking.
Okay, when did the rule of Muslims in India end?
Sir, in 1911.
Now, this is very
Sir,
wild guess.
sir, after the
Sir, 1856.
1856, 1857, 56, the War of Independence, the Mughal Empire came to an end. And when Mughal Empire came to an end, the situation of Muslim in India changed all of a sudden, right? From rulers to a third-rate community. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Now you can see that Muslim of India had also this in mind, that if Muslims' power else globally come to an end, so this will have a bad impact on the Muslim of India as well, because your power as a community will come to an end. Do you understand this point?
Yes, sir.
So Muslim of India believed that if Ottomans end and if some other Muslim powers end, it is going to reduce or decrease the power of the Muslim community globally. And this happens. You are a country first. As a country, your power, your economy, your influence in the world is counted, and then you as a community, your power and your influence is counted. If one community is so powerful, and even if there is a one weaker country that will get the benefits, you can see of European Union, you can see of West, they come to aid to any of their fellow country or any of their allies relations. So they come to help. If Muslims were, if they believe in Indian Muslim, that if they lose Ottomans, if they lose others, so it will be having a bad impact on that. So cutting it short now, we that Khilafat movement was formed in India. Number one, to protect Ottoman Empire, Turkish Empire. Number two, love and regard, respect for Caliph and Caliphate. Number three, Muslims of India believed that if this power come to an end, or any power of the Muslims come to an end in the world, it will have a bad impact on their own struggle. It will have a bad impact on the Indian Muslim as well. So this is the Khilafat movement. You can see we discussed this non-cooperation movement, Gandhi's. Now, Khilafat movement, this I have already discussed, the Caliph and Caliphate. How did it come to? Intro we discussed. This was Ottoman in 1914. Can you see this?
So your screen is
No,
stuck.
sir. Sir, your screen is black.
Start.
Sir, the time is up also.
Time is up.
Can you wait? We discussed the intro part of this topic, which continues in the next event.
Officer.